And while we were sitting there, we got some really great news as well, which is we just crossed 1 million books donated. And for that, thank you for your compassion and generosity. Okay, so now it's my special privilege to introduce one of my very best friends and former office mate of mine at Google. So Meng Tan has written an amazing book called Search Inside Yourself, The Unexpected Path to Happiness, Success, and World Peace. Now that's befitting because he works at Google. He was one of their earliest engineers, originally responsible for their mobile search and search quality. And in the last number of years, he's really focused on mindfulness and meditation and offering that to Googlers and out to the world. And this book is a wonderful way he's done that. His job title, as befits somebody who wrote such a book, is the fact that he is a fellow at Google, but a very specific type of fellow. He is officially the jolly good fellow that nobody can deny. It says it on his business card. And his job description is to open hearts, enlighten minds, and create the conditions for world peace. Meng is an amazing human being, like I said, a dear, dear friend, and he has also gone on to found 1 Billion Acts of Peace, which has been nominated by 7 Nobel laureates for the Nobel Peace Prize. He's founded and chairs the Search Inside Yourself Leadership Institute, and he was the founding patron of Stanford's Center for Compassion, Altruism, and Research in Education. And so, please join me for a very warm welcome for my dear friend and brother, Meng Tan.
Thank you. My friends, my name is Meng, and I'm a very naughty engineer. You know I'm naughty because I gave myself the coolest job title in corporate America. I'm also naughty because I got myself, I have my picture taken with every famous person who comes to Google. Here you see, for example, President Clinton and her husband Bill. I got myself on the front page of the New York Times. The other naughty thing I did was, as an engineer, started a curriculum for a mindfulness-based emotional intelligence curriculum. I'm an engineer teaching emotional intelligence. Imagine that. So I did that, and as a joke, as usual, we call it Search Inside Yourself. And it became the most popular class in Google. And it became the title of the best-selling book. And my favorite part about this book is the back cover, because you see endorsements by the Dalai Lama and Jimmy Carter. And my friends, this is how you know it's a good book. Because what are the chances that the Dalai Lama and Jimmy Carter are both wrong at the same time? So Search Inside Yourself is a mindfulness-based emotional intelligence curriculum. So first, what is mindfulness? And as Kara has said, mindfulness is this, is paying attention, but not just paying attention. Pay attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and most importantly, non-judgmentally. Or if you need something simpler, moment-to-moment, non-judging awareness. The way mindfulness is usually practiced is this. It is bring attention to your breath, and when it wanders away, you bring it back. Wanders away, bring it back. And if I teach this to a class of engineers, especially in Google, you know who you are, they'll be asking me what we call the WTF question. And for those of you who don't know what WTF stands for, it stands for, what is happening here? And the WTF question is, how does this possibly benefit me? Right? I bring my attention to breath, wonders will bring it back. And the analogy is this, is doing weights, right? Every time you bring back wandering attention, it's like doing one bicep curl for the brain, specifically the prefrontal cortex. And you do a lot of this, what happens? You become strong. And when you become strong, you also, more importantly, acquire a quality called health and fitness. And when you have health and fitness, what happens? Everything changes, right? You become more successful. Why? Because you have fewer sick days, you have more energy at work, you have more self-confidence, you feel great about yourself, you look better in the mirror, you look almost like rich. Very handsome. And you're happy. So, if you never heard about fitness in the whole life, that claim I just made should be mind-blowing. Because I'm claiming this thing has implications that go to success, well-being, happiness, feeling great, confidence, the whole enchilada. And when you do mindfulness, it's the same thing. Every time you bring the wandering attention, it's like doing one bicep curl for the mind. Eventually, the mind becomes strong. Eventually, you have, more important than the mind becomes strong, you have mental and emotional health and fitness. And the implication of that is even more powerful than physical health and fitness. Success, happiness, and more importantly, I said kindness. Leading to all good things, happiness and feeling great about yourself. So, what I just said basically means that mindfulness cannot be learned. It can basically only be trained. And it can be trained because of a quality of the brain called neuroplasticity, which is that what you think, what you do, and most importantly, what you pay attention to, changes the function and structure of the brain, even for adults, even old guys like me. And here's the first study that showed that. It was a study done in 2000 on taxi drivers in London. So why taxi drive? Why London cabbies? Because to drive a taxi in London, you have to demonstrate that you can navigate all the streets in London in your head without a map, without a GPS. And it's been found that taxi drivers in London, because they do that, they have their posterior hippocampi, the part of the brain which is responsible for directions, is significantly larger than most people. And the longer they drive in a cab, the more true that is. I say, yeah, that's long term, that's like many years. It takes 2 to 4 years to study for this test. So what about a shorter term? So there's another study, this is from fairly recent, from 2011, done on MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, which showed that 8 weeks of mindfulness training, 8 weeks, not 8 years, 8 weeks of mindfulness training later, the gray matter concentration of the parts of the brain has to do with emotional regulation, the let me say in this case, the left hippocampus, the TPJ, the PCC, and so on. They get thicker. There's more gray matter concentration in 8 weeks. So mindfulness, my friends, is a life-changing skill. You practice that, every aspect of your life improves, including your career. But more than your career, happiness and kindness and relationships, everything else. So what do we do with that? In Google, we use that to train emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? This is an analogy of a guy on a horse. So the man on the horse, the man represents the thinking mind, and the horse represents the emotional mind. And usually, it feels like this. So emotional intelligence is going from this to this. Going from skilllessness with the horse to skillfulness with the horse. Going from skilllessness with emotion to skillfulness. But wait, there's more. If you buy now, you can also get mastery. With enough training, you can go from skilllessness to skillfulness to mastery. So what is emotional intelligence? This is a scientific definition. I think there's a shorter and better definition than this, which is that emotional intelligence is a collection of emotional skills. And that's important. Why? Because all skills are trainable. Therefore, if EI is simply a collection of emotional skills, it means EI must be trainable. The good news is we found that to be true in doing this at Google. The better news is it turns out it doesn't take that much time. It doesn't take 10,000 hours. It doesn't take 10 years. All it took was about 50 hours. A couple of days or a couple of weeks, depending on how strong your practice is. So how do you train emotional intelligence? It turns out you can do it in 3 easy steps. And the first step is attention training. So what does this mean? This means something very specific, which is using mindfulness to train this faculty. The faculty of being able to bring the mind to a state that is calm and clear, and to do it on demand. Calm and clear mind on demand. That is the first fruit of the mindfulness practice. And you might ask, so what's so good about this, right? WTF? What's happened here? If you can do this, the first thing that gives you is leadership. So pretend you're in a meeting with your co-workers and there's a crisis. And everybody's panicking and you alone can calm your mind and think. And when people look at you, you feel this guy, Rich, is a leader. And they feel that because that is a leadership quality. Part of leadership is the ability to think under fire. And it turns out that is a skill that is highly trainable. And you can be trained through mindfulness, and once you do that, you have the first skill of a leader. But better than that, but wait, there's more. Something Kara just talked about, a quote from Viktor Frankl, which is that between stimulus and response, there's a space. And that space lies your freedom and power to choose response. What that means is, this ability to calm the mind on demand gives you choice, power, and most important, freedom. Freedom, my friends. Freedom from this one simple skill. And better than that, this skill is the foundation of all higher cognitive and emotional skills. And therefore, this skill is the foundation of emotional intelligence. Basically ability to ground the mind in the middle of crisis. And again, there's some scientific proof. So this is a study, again, just 8 weeks. 8 weeks of mindfulness, you find that in the subjects, the part of the brain which is responsible for emotional hijacking, the amygdala, already becomes smaller. And is correlated with perceived stress. So therefore, your amygdala becomes smaller, you're less likely to be hijacked, and you feel less stress. In just 8 weeks. Like, this is like mind-blowing, life-changing stuff. But that's only step 1, and there's more. Step 2 is using the calm and clear mind to train self-knowledge. The type of self-knowledge that leads to self-mastery. So what does that mean? Self-knowledge, it means that when your mind is, you can bring your mind to a place that's calm and clear on demand. You begin to be able to perceive the process of emotion and high resolution on 2 dimensions. The spatial dimension, which is detecting small changes in the process of emotion, and the temporal dimension, which is to do that in real time. And what does that give you? So first one is, what does high resolution perception mean? Well, this is a low resolution picture. And if you increase the resolution, you say, now I know what the picture is. It's a picture of some white guy trying to hide the recipe of chicken. Changing the resolution or improving the resolution gives you useful information. And when you get useful information, what happens is it changes how you relate to the object. In this case, the process of emotion. And not just changes it, it also allows you to relate to this process objectively. You begin to see your emotions objectively. And what does that buy you? It buys you a lot. It's life-changing. So here's one study, for example. This is a study comparing again mindfulness in the form of MBSI with aerobic exercise, and UT stands for untreated. So we all know that if you are depressed, if you have to do aerobic exercise, you will feel better. And it turns out in this study that if you do mindfulness, it's even better than aerobic exercise. Of course, if you do both, that's even better. But it shows what I just said earlier, that exercise will change your life, and mindfulness will change your life even more. And if you combine that, that's power. However, I think it does something even more important, which is, I'll give you an example. As the perception into the process of emotion sharpens, something happens. There's a shift that happens, which is you begin to see the process of emotion shifting from existential to experiential, which is going from I am angry, I am sad, I am happy to I'm experiencing anger, I'm experiencing sadness. And that separation enables something called the big sky mind, which is this realization that the mind is like the sky and emotions are like clouds in the sky, and fundamentally the clouds are not the sky. Therefore, I am not my thoughts. My thoughts are not me. Thank you. I am not my emotions are not me. And I think the loss comes because for some people this is a life-changing insight. For example, if you're stuck in the cycle of depression, this one insight, I am not my thoughts are not me, that's the first break of this. And that realization comes from your mindfulness practice. You can go one step beyond that to find that going from experiential to physiological, which is finding that the feeling, the experience of emotions are simply experiences in the body. So therefore, that sadness I'm feeling, this horrible feeling in my body, is the same level of experience as a pain in my leg. It is very painful, it's very unpleasant. However, it is simply experienced in my body. And that insight is the beginning of mastery over emotions. It's like, again, profoundly life-changing. But wait, there's more. There's a third step. Yeah, I'm rushing because I'm running out of time. The third step is creating useful mental habits, specifically pro-social mental habits. So what does that mean? I'll give you an example. The habit of kindness. The habit of kindness is when you look at a human being and the first thought is, I wish for that person to be happy. I wish for that person to be happy. That is your first thought. Why is that your first thought? Because it is a habit. For no other reason than because this is a habit. And if you have that habit, what happens? Habit becomes personality, personality becomes character, character becomes you. Therefore, by simply training a habit, it becomes you. You become a kind person. Shall we try that? For example, with your permission, 10 seconds. Okay, this is what I want you to do. 10 seconds. I allow you to randomly identify two human beings in this room. Don't have the same layer. And just think, I wish for that person to be happy. I wish for that person to be happy. Don't say anything, so it's not embarrassing. Don't do anything. Don't go like, don't do that. Especially you. So just think, okay? 10 seconds, beginning now. Thank you. Did you notice that while you're doing that, you were happy? Right? Most of you are smiling even. There's so much happiness. If that's true, you may have just discovered a very important secret of happiness, which is to be on the giving end of a kind thought. It's intrinsically rewarding. And that's true. Like, then you found a secret to happiness. Like, nothing changes. All you do is just think. Just think. I wish my person to be happy. Don't need to do anything. So, how far can you push this, by the way? A couple of years ago, I was in Spirit Rock, actually by Jack's invitation. So Jack invited me to teach him in Spirit Rock. It was a Monday. And then we did this exercise for 10 seconds, and I tell the audience, okay, tomorrow is Tuesday, tomorrow is a work day, try this. Every hour, spend 10 seconds wishing randomly for two people to be happy in your head. Right? So it's not embarrassing. Like just think, wish for this person to be happy, this person, go back to work. Nothing changes. See what happens. So I gave that homework. So that was Monday night. Wednesday morning, I received an email from a total stranger. So this person told me, she said, I hate my job. I hate coming to work every single day. But I was at a talk on Monday, I did a homework on Tuesday, and Tuesday was my happiest day in 7 years. Happiest day in 7 years. What did it take? It took 80 seconds of thinking. That's all. So can I assign this as homework to all of you? Okay, today is Friday. Okay, start Monday. Do that. Okay, see how it goes. If it works, let me know. My email is meng@google.com. So this step in emotional intelligence training is use pro-social mental habits to create kindness and compassion. And you might ask, what good does this do? It does a lot for leadership. So there's this study, for example, which showed that the one thing that differentiates the top leaders, the best performing leaders from the worst performing leaders, is affection. The best performing leaders love people and want to be loved. Why is that the case? Because all other things equal. The more your people love you, the harder they work for you. The harder they work for you, the more it reflects in your success as a leader. It's as simple as that. Right? So kindness is good for your career, especially as a leader. And it's like, yeah. When does it not work? How about the military? Right? You shout orders, you send people to die. Well, turns out in the military that's also true. Right? So the best military commanders, or the most effective military commanders, are described in these terms: positive, outgoing, expressive, dramatic, warm, sociable, trustful. Basically, nice people. And the study, the title of this study, in the end, was "Nice Guys Finish First." And one time, I gave this talk to a room full of Navy SEALs and top flight pilots, the best of the best. And I asked them, "Is this true even for you?" And they said yes. Nice guys finish first. So there's some nice guys in the military. By the way, my book has no cartoons, because if I'm going to write a book about wisdom, I cannot have no cartoons. So this is it, my friends. 3 easy steps to developing emotional intelligence based on mindfulness. And the time I've been running this class at Google, this is the consistent feedback I get, which is, your class changed my life. Changed my life. So after we were successful at Google, we created an institute to bring this out to the world. We call it the Search Inside Yourself Leadership Institute, and it's pronounced as silly. So get silly. And it's true, by the way. It is true that this is my crew, and it's true that in order to work for me, you want to be silly. You have to be silly to want to work for me. And Mark, the CEO, is sitting over there, so feel free to grab him after this. Sorry for volunteering you, but first. So let's see. Why did I do this? When I began this, I was an engineer, and I started doing this with a very simple, very small aspiration. All I wanted to do was to create the conditions for world peace in my lifetime. That was all. So I was taking a walk outside the Google campus, and then, there's this moment of epiphany. I mean, somebody had this moment where you know what you want to do for the rest of your life. And I knew that moment. And what I wanted to do for the rest of my life was to create conditions for world peace in my lifetime. And the question is, how? And I figured it out. The way to do that is to scale inner peace, inner joy, and compassion worldwide. Because if these 3 qualities are scaled worldwide, then we have the condition for world peace in a single life. The question is, how? And I figured it out. I figured the way to do that is through success and profits. Because if I will go around the world talking about goodness, peace, joy, compassion, yeah, nothing changes, right? People go home and nothing changes. However, if I talk about success and profits, this is how I become more successful, this is how I become profitable, and with the necessary and unavoidable side effect being inner peace, inner joy, compassion. Then you spread. And there's a word for it, upaya, skillful means. How do we do that? And I figured it out. The way to do that, by the way, it sounds like a short, but it's, every time I say I figured it out, it took months. I figured it out. The way to do that is emotional intelligence. Create a mindfulness-based curriculum for emotional intelligence. Tell people or teach people how to be successful in a way where peace, joy, compassion is unavoidable, then you can scale inner peace, inner joy, compassion worldwide. And then what came out of that was searching inside yourself. So my friends, I hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope that together we will create the conditions for world peace in our lifetimes. Thank you.